Awaken to divine healing, 40 days of miraculous Ho'oponopono and sacred violet flame for spiritual transformation. In the little village of Hopewood, Mary's heart was about to be thrust into the realm of divine miracles. A place where the sweet scent of blooming flowers filled the air, where the warm afternoon sun dappled through ancient oaks as if angels themselves painted the world with care. But this serene haven was rocked when whispers echoed through St. Peter's Parish. Young Tom, Mary's 8-year-old son, had been struck by a rare illness that no doctor could cure. The word incurable hung heavily, thick like fog, and all eyes turned to Mary, their steadfast tower of faith. In that moment, Mary felt a powerful tugging at her spirit. It was a beckoning towards something extraordinary, a promise that healing was within reach. She recalled an ancient practice from faraway shores, Ho'oponopono, a ritual that sought to heal through love and forgiveness. And then there was the violet flame, a radiant energy said to cleanse and transform. "Mum, maybe we should just trust the doctors," her mother said, lined brow furrowed in worry. But Mary could feel something stirring within her, a deep knowing igniting her with hope. "Lord, guide me," she whispered one night, as the first flicker of the candle flame danced like a heartbeat in the dark. That soft glow began to expand, filling her with warmth. Suddenly, a gentle breeze flowed through her tiny cottage, carrying with it a luminous essence. She could almost see the violet flame surrounding Tom, wrapping him in tender light. It was a moment of transcendence, like heaven touching earth. As Mary gathered her friends for a prayer circle at St. Peter's, she shared her revelation. "What if Ho'oponopono can heal Tom?" she said, voice trembling but resolute. But the murmurs from those who had known her all her life turned wary. "What about the doctors?" someone whispered, shadows of doubt creeping in. Could these ancient practices intertwine with their faith in God? Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. With every prayer offered up, Mary felt the violet flame flicker stronger. Her heart beat in unison with those gathered, faith rising akin to a tide. But just when doubts threatened to engulf her, doctors proposed a risky surgery, a gamble resting precariously on her son's frail shoulders. In the dim light of an evening service, a soft hush fell as they prayed. Suddenly, the air crackled with energy. Mary gasped as a wave of calm enveloped her. The divine spoke through her spirit, a voice like honeyed warmth. "Trust in the flame, trust in love." The congregation held its breath, the weight of uncertainty hanging thick. Mary stood at the brink of a decision that promised to alter their fates forever. Would faith triumph over fear? Or would doubt extinguish the light? As she prepared to share her experience that night, hope shimmered around her like the dawn. What miraculous revelation awaited Mary and Tom? Would the community dare to embrace the extraordinary, or would they falter at the threshold of divine intervention? The answers lay just beyond the veil of mystery. Mary's heart raced as she sensed the stirrings of something sacred. Her friends, gathered close, formed a living tapestry of hope. With each prayer, the violet flame flickered brighter, igniting souls with the promise of divine intervention. In that sacred space, doubts began to dissipate like morning mist. "Mary," a voice broke through, soft yet firm. It belonged to Grace, a devoted friend with eyes shimmering with tears. "I believe you, but what if this doesn't work? Our hearts will shatter." The timid question rippled through the circle, momentarily dimming the glow of faith. But Mary, warmed by the sacred light, found her voice. "If love casts out fear, then we have only to embrace it." Her words were a bell ringing clear, summoning the faith that lay dormant within each heart. As she closed her eyes, the warmth enveloped her like a mother's embrace. Images danced behind her eyelids, a vision of Tom, vibrant and whole, laughter spilling from his lips like a melody. The violet flame surged, wrapping him in luminous safety. "He is healed, in spirit and in truth," she exclaimed, voice rising in fervent conviction. Around her, hands clasped tighter. The circle transformed into a conduit of divine love. One by one, soft voices joined in, echoing Mary's declaration, filling the room with stirring affirmations. Tom is whole. Love conquers all. Morning light filtered through the stained glass, casting colorful patterns on the floor, as if heaven itself celebrated their unity. This was not merely a prayer, it was a fiery invocation, a call for the miraculous to interweave with life's fragile tapestry. When their praise culminated in a chorus, the atmosphere thickened with expectancy. The room pulsated with energy, and Mary felt the air shimmer like the surface of a sunlit lake. Lord, let this flame ignite the healing within Tom, she breathed, opening herself to the flow of the divine. But that evening, as the congregation dispersed, shadows began creeping back into their minds. Whispers of the surgery returned like unwelcome visitors. Mary sensed their lingering doubts, but she was determined. Every healing begins with believing it's possible. We are the vessels of that belief, she declared, now rallying her friends. Her heart pounding, Mary looked towards the horizon where the sun dipped low. It reminded her that even the longest day must give way to night before dawn could break anew. The next day held uncertainty, but with the violet flame and the ancient teachings of Ho'oponopono, hope pierced through darkness like the first rays of sunlight. That night, she placed her hands on Tom's bed and began the ritual she had read about. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. Each word flowed from her soul, wrapping Tom in an unseen embrace. She visualized the violet flame enveloping him, cleansing his body of every ailment. Tears fell, mingling with her prayers, a sacred offering. And just then, a flicker caught her eye, an inexplicable shimmer emanating from the room, a luminous response from the universe. Mary felt the air become thick with warmth and light. As she looked at Tom, nestled and peaceful, a still small voice whispered within her, assuring her that by embracing love, they were already in the presence of miracles. But where would this path lead next? Would the community embrace the mystery of divine healing, or would they run back to their familiar fears? The answers hung in the air like the scent of wildflowers, enticing and yet just out of reach. What awaited them in the days to come? Would the fragile thread of faith weave the miraculous? The dawn broke with a whisper of hope. Mary stirred, the warmth of the sunrise streaming through the window, intertwining with the remnants of her dreams. She rose, feeling the sacred promise of the violet flame still pulsing in her heart. Today was crucial, she could sense it in every fiber of her being. As she moved through her morning routine, her mind lingered on Tom. The thought of him, still and vulnerable, filled her with urgency. With each step, she resolved to keep the faith alive, for it was in the small moments of devotion that miracles often began. After preparing herself with prayer, Mary gathered her friends once more. This time, they came not just with doubt, but with a spark of anticipation. They filled her small living room, a safe haven infused with the essence of their shared love. They would not allow fear to darken their hearts, instead, they would tend to that flicker of hope. Today, Mary proclaimed, her voice steady, we will amplify our prayers. Together, we will breathe life into our faith. We will visualize the healing power of the violet flame flowing into Tom, enveloping him in its love. As they formed a circle once again, Mary felt the collective energy rise like a tide. With their hands joined, she led them in deep, mindful breaths, inviting peace into the space. Let us envision Tom, free from pain and filled with joy, she directed gently, visualizing him in healing light. The group began to chant. Words flowed like a stream, harmonizing with their heartbeat. Love heals. The flame purifies. Tom, you are whole. Tears glistened in the corners of their eyes, but they were mixed with a potent blend of joy and expectation. They chanted until their voices felt raw, a beautiful sacrifice to the universe. Meanwhile, Mary felt an unshakable presence, a veil lifting, revealing the potential of healing. But as that powerful moment faded, Mary sensed a sudden shift. The air felt different, heavier. She looked around, several friends wore worried expressions, caught in the web of uncertainty again. Could their hearts withstand the trials of waiting? Friends, she said, her voice soothing yet firm, faith is a journey, not a destination. Each moment we choose to believe brings us closer to the healing we seek. She remembered how doubt had sought to creep in, how easy it was to let fear pull them into darkness. Let us renew our commitment to hope together. With renewed determination, Mary led another round of prayers, this time infused with gratitude. For love, for unity, for the sacred trust they were building. "Thank you for every breath we take," she whispered, her heart swelling. She looked outside at the stretches of blue sky, the laughter of children dancing in the distance, the world at large pulsating with life. "This is the foundation for miracles," she breathed, a deep knowing filling her. Later that day, Mary visited Tom at the hospital. She took a moment by his bedside, the machines creating a gentle rhythm around them. Quietly, she embraced the sacred stillness and sent him all the love she could muster. The violet flame seemed to flicker in the air, illuminating the space between them. "Can you hear me?" she whispered, hoping that somewhere beneath the surface, he could feel her presence. "You are loved. You are whole." Just as she finished speaking, a sudden warmth enveloped her, an undeniable surge of energy filled the room. Mary gasped as an inexplicable feeling washed over her, a powerful confirmation that something profound was at work. In that stunning moment of connection, she understood a divine thread was weaving between them. Was that feeling the first glimpse of the miracles they prayed for? As she walked out of the hospital, exhilaration and trepidation danced together in her heart. What revelation awaited as they delved deeper into their faith? The journey was far from over. Would they witness a transformation? Or would the shadows of darkness return? Curiosity tinged her thoughts as she contemplated the next steps. The day had opened a doorway, but would they dare walk through it? The answers beckoned on the horizon, yet just beyond the light of understanding. The following morning found Mary restless. The horizon held both light and shadow, echoing the turmoil in her heart. Sleep had been fleeting, haunted by visions of Tom. She felt the uncertainty wrap around her like a cold blanket. Yet within, the embers of hope glowed softly, kindling her spirit. After a quick breakfast, Mary reached for her journal, a sacred space where thoughts danced freely. She recalled the warmth from the hospital, the connection that had surged through her. What was that energy if not a beckoning from something greater? She penned her thoughts, crafting a prayerful declaration: "We are vessels of love, carriers of light. Together, we shall manifest healing." Stepping outside, the crisp air greeted her. It filled her lungs powerfully and reminded her of the vitality of faith. As she walked through her neighborhood, Mary noticed the world awakening around her. Lilacs bloomed defiantly. Their sweetness and vibrancy mirrored her own spirit. She stopped, allowing the scent to wash over her, filling her with gratitude for every living thing. The day passed with Mary preparing for that evening's gathering. She felt a pull to invite the wider community into their mission. Thus, she sent out messages, hoping to draw others into their circle of faith. "Come share your hopes, your light," she wrote, "we shall uplift each other." As twilight descended, they gathered again in her living room, this time with new souls joining their ranks. The atmosphere thrummed with a collective heartbeat, a living reminder of love's unbreakable bond. Mary welcomed each person warmly, speaking of Tom and the progress they hoped to see. "We are more than the names we bear, we are conduits of grace," Mary said, her voice steady yet infused with emotion. "Every kind word, every prayer adds to the tapestry of healing we are creating." She could see the glimmers of faith taking root. Each face mirrored determination, a spark igniting the hearts around her. Together, they formed a circle, taking hands once more, breathing deeply as one. Mary encouraged everyone to focus on the violet flame, the divine essence that would reach Tom. "Visualize it," she urged. "Feel it swirl around him, bathing him in warmth and love." With voices raised, they sang a gentle hymn, the melody weaving through the room, lifting hopes like incense to the skies. Each note seemed to vibrate with truth, reverberating against the walls. Mary felt the weight of their collective intention shift the very atmosphere. As the music swelled, Mary closed her eyes, allowing the sound to fill her being. She envisioned Tom, the flickering flame wrapping around him. She felt a shiver of joy ripple through her, a connection to the stream of divine love coursing through everyone present. Then, just as suddenly as it began, the song reached its serene conclusion. Silence enveloped the room, pregnant with possibility. Mary gently opened her eyes to see glistening tears and radiant smiles. Hope pulsed in the air, electric and tangible. It was a moment of divine unity. But what God had not yet revealed, Mary reminded them, a knowing smile gracing her lips. This is but the beginning. A collective breath swept through the room, anticipation tangible. That night, Mary lay awake, staring at the soft glow of the moonlight pouring through her window. Questions lingered in the sacred silence. Would their efforts bear the fruit of healing? What awaited them in the hours to follow? She surrendered her worries to the night, confident that all was cradled in divine hands. As sleep finally enveloped her, Mary yearned for another awakening, a deeper understanding that would guide them. Just as her vision dimmed, she felt a tender whisper, a hint of promise. Would tomorrow reveal the answers they longed for? The possibilities lay open like an untouched canvas, waiting for the brush of faith to paint its story. The dawn broke gently, casting soft hues of gold upon the earth. Mary awoke, her heart still resonating with the power of the previous night's gathering. Memories of the warm hands holding hers, the heartfelt prayers rising like fragrant offerings, all echoed in her mind. It felt as if the very air around her was woven with a sacred promise. Mary rose, her spirit lighter despite the weight of her worries for Tom. With each stride towards the kitchen, she felt a surge of determination. Today, she would step deeper into faith. As she brewed her morning tea, she paused to reflect on her intentions. What if today was the day they saw a shift? What if healing was already on its way, arriving in ways she couldn't yet understand? She poured her tea into her favorite mug, one that bore an inscription, "Hope is the anchor of the soul." A smile crept across her face, stirred by the reminder that even amidst turbulence, hope could provide steadiness. Stepping onto her porch, she watched the neighborhood awaken. Birds chirped harmoniously, and the cool breeze wrapped around her like a familiar embrace. Mary closed her eyes, allowing the sounds of nature to lift her. She envisioned the violet flame they had focused on together. "Guide us today, dear Spirit," she whispered, feeling the energy of her intentions rise. Mary felt led to visit Tom during the day. Maybe today was the day she could share their communal faith with him, envelop him in it. The thought ignited her spirit. She quickly dressed and set off towards the hospital, the world around her alive with possibilities. Arriving, the sterile white walls loomed, but now, they felt different. These walls were just barriers, nothing more than temporary boundaries that would not stifle the love flowing within. She found Tom's room and took a deep breath, another wave of faith washing over her. Tom lay still, yet peaceful, as Mary stepped inside. She felt her pulse quicken. The energy in the room shifted. She could feel that something was changing. Kneeling beside his bed, she took his hand gently in hers, feeling the warmth spreading through their contact. "Tom," she spoke softly, "we are all gathered for you. Can you feel us?" As she talked to him, her heart filled with memories of laughter and shared dreams. She recalled their late-night talks, the strength of his spirit. "We believe in you," she declared with conviction. "You are not alone. We are weaving a tapestry of healing that surrounds you." And there it was again, that familiar warmth of connection, visible, tangible, and sacred. She leaned closer, lowering her voice. "I want you to visualize the violet flame. Picture it enveloping your spirit, infusing you with love, strength, and peace. You are healing, Tom. We are sending our prayers like gentle waves, cleansing your spirit." As Mary whispered this, she caught a flicker, a slight twitch of Tom's eyelids. Her heart raced, electricity coursing through her. Perhaps her words were stirring something deep within him. "You are loved, and you are strong," she urged, her voice quaking with hope. "You will rise again." There was a moment of stillness before a nurse entered the room, checking on Tom. She noticed Mary and offered a reassuring smile. "The power of love is a beautiful thing," the nurse said softly. "Keep talking to him, it helps more than you know." Emboldened by her affirmation, Mary clasped Tom's hand tighter. She continued speaking, sharing stories of their friends, the gathering, and even the blooming lilacs outside. She poured all her faith, hope, and love into those moments, believing firmly in the miraculous. What if today was the turning point, the moment everything changed for them? Outside, clouds began to gather, but Mary felt only light within. She turned her gaze to Tom, praying silently for a sign, a confirmation that they were on the brink of a divine breakthrough. Could this sacred energy transform their reality? Each heartbeat rang out with anticipation. And then, the unexpected happened, a slight squeeze from Tom's hand. The world seemed to hold its breath as a new wave of hope surged through Mary. It was a tentative sign, but it felt monumental. She leaned forward, eyes glistening. "Tom, you're with us. Aren't you?" As the moment lingered, Mary's heart swelled with love and faith. She felt the divine whisper again, hinting at a mystery yet to be revealed, a path unfolding that could change everything. What awaited them on this sacred journey? What revelations will come to light? The divine tapestry was still weaving, bringing forth new threads of hope and healing. What divine secrets will tomorrow unveil? The room felt alive, pulsing with an energy that Mary could hardly contain. She was aware of every detail: the gentle hum of the machines, the soft rustle of the nurse as she gathered supplies, and the scent of antiseptic that lingered faintly in the air. But amid all that, the connection between her and Tom grew almost tangible. "Tom," she urged again, squeezing his hand, "I just know you can sense the love surrounding you. Let it flow into your spirit." Each word was a prayer, lifting her heart higher. She focused intently, visualizing the violet flame flickering all around him, enveloping him, bathing him in spiritual warmth. As she spoke, the atmosphere thickened with hope. The nurse looked on, her face a portrait of quiet encouragement as she scribbled notes. Mary turned her attention back to Tom, noticing that the flickers of movement were increasing. "Tom, if you can hear me, please squeeze my hand again. Let us know you're trying," she breathed, her voice trembling with anticipation. Moments passed before she felt it, an unmistakable squeeze, both feeble and powerful. Her eyes widened, and a tear escaped down her cheek. "Oh, Tom. Thank you, dear Lord." The nurse turned, her expression transforming. "That's remarkable, Mary. Keep talking, it's doing something." With every word, Mary stitched together a tapestry of memories, love, and prayers, a sacred offering of faith. "Remember the time we went to the coast? That day the waves were high, and we laughed until we crashed into the sand." She recalled the sunlit days they had spent dreaming of the future, filled with hope and adventure. She allowed the joy of those moments to wash over her, amplifying her voice. "Tom, we need you. Your laughter brings life to our days. Imagine the sunshine on your face, the warmth of summer breezes." The warmth from their hands felt like a promise, a connection that no words could fully capture. Mary whispered, "You are strong. You can fight this." In that moment of connection, the burden of uncertainty lightened. Mary felt her spirit intertwining with Tom's. Hope was ignited, illuminating the darkest corners of her worry. What had felt impossible now shimmered with potential, each heartbeat resonating like a drum of life. Suddenly, there was a shift. Tom's eyelids fluttered open wider. Mary gasped. She met his gaze, a bright blue that held depths of familiarity and recognition. It was like meeting a long-lost friend. "Tom, can you see me?" His lips parted, but no sound came. Yet the light in his eyes flickered, powerful and real. She brushed her fingers along his forehead, whispering fiercely, "You're safe. We're right here. You are surrounded by love." A crackle of energy filled the room, an almost electric presence. Mary felt the air shift, as though the very fabric of reality was being pulled taut with divine love. "Tom, it's all going to be okay," she declared, heart racing in rhythm with her faith. "Just hold on." Her words hung in the air like a benediction, and for an instant, time seemed to elongate, suspended and filled with potential. As Mary gazed into Tom's blue eyes, she felt an ancient understanding emerge. They were on the threshold of something profound. The nurse leaned closer, intrigued. "Let me check his vitals again. Sometimes they respond with awareness, it's a good sign." Mary knew the nurse sensed it too, the promise of healing. She released a breath. She hadn't realized she was holding, her faith unyielding. But there were still lingering concerns, dark thoughts creeping in like shadows. Would this be enough? Could love and faith truly summon healing? Or was she just grasping at light? Her heart pounded, mingling hope with doubt as she sought assurance in the gentle squeezing of Tom's hand. Holy Spirit, guide us, she murmured softly, seeking reassurance amid the questions. And then, just as unexpectedly, the light shifted again. What had once been an ordinary hospital room gleamed with an otherworldly glow, illuminating the possibilities that danced through the air. The air thickened with expectation, wrapping them in sacred possibility. What would happen next? Would they witness a miracle unfold right before their eyes? As she held Tom's hand tightly, hope radiated from her being. The journey was just beginning. What miraculous breakthrough lay in wait, just beyond their reach? Mary's heart raced as the energy in the room pulsed with an intensity she could barely comprehend. The light shimmered around them, weaving its way into every crack and crevice, illuminating Hope's vibrant hues. It felt as if the walls were breathing with life and echoing her fervent prayers. Tom, she whispered, as though the mere sound of his name could awaken him more fully. I believe in your strength. I believe in you. Her voice danced on the air, buoyed by faith and love, infused with an urgency that tremored through her veins. With every essence of her being, she envisioned the violet flame wrapping around Tom, penetrating through his stillness, igniting the fire of healing deep within him. It was a holy invitation to embrace life once more. Mary squeezed his hand tighter, feeling the warmth between them. She focused on the connection, it was sacred ground. I'm right here, she said softly, we're in this together. The nurse busied herself in the background, but Mary hardly noticed, entranced by the unfolding exchange with Tom. She could sense the veil between worlds thinning, the boundaries where hope met reality blurring, the rhythm of the heartbeat monitor steadied, swelling like a powerful symphony of life. Each beep resonated like a promise, there was still time, there was still hope. Suddenly, Tom's mouth trembled, and his brow furrowed. Mary, his voice was barely a whisper, fragile yet unmistakable. It was the sound of awakening, and it sent a surge of joy through her. Mary, the first feel you. Tears flowed freely as pure love poured into her chest, expanding until she thought she might burst. Yes. Tom. Hold on to that feeling. The love is right here, right now. You are surrounded by all who care for you. For a moment, everything fell silent. The nurse paused, her pen hovering over the notepad as she turned to witness the miraculous spark of life flickering back to existence. Mary felt as though time stood still. Can you remember the garden? She urged, her voice a melodic comfort. The flowers we planted together? Think of the colors, the fragrance, and the way the sun kissed our faces. She painted vivid pictures with her words, hoping to pull him back fully into this world, each brushstroke filled with the beauty they had shared. Tom's face softened, and a faint smile broke through his weary features. The daisies, the sunbeams, yes. She exclaimed, barely able to contain herself. That's it, love. You're back with me. You're safe here. She felt the tension in the room shift, the atmosphere charged with a raw, divine energy. The nurse looked at Mary, her eyes wide with wonder. This is incredible, she said softly. Mary hardly heard her. She was lost in the moment, boundlessly grateful for the miracle unfolding between them. Your laughter, Tom, it can light up the darkest days. Let it shine again. As they illuminated their shared memories, realization enveloped Mary. This journey was not just about healing for Tom, but a transformation for both of them. Love had the power to transcend, to bind, to heal wounds unseen. Yet, even in the heat of this miraculous moment, doubt still flickered at the edges of Mary's heart. Could love alone heal him? Was this truly a turning point or just a beautiful illusion? Lord, strengthen our faith, she whispered, feeling the urgency swell inside her, a pressing need for divine assurance. The world beyond them dissolved into a golden haze. God had always been present, weaving through circumstances with a loving hand. Their gaze locked, and in Tom's deep blue eyes, she glimpsed something more profound, a stirring of the spirit, a beckoning toward the miraculous. With a heart full of anticipation, Mary nestled into her faith. She refused to waver. The miracle was already here, yet more was to come. What divine revelation awaited them on this journey? Would love manifest in ways unseen, or would the path twist into the very depths of mystery? Mary's heart fluttered with an electric current as Tom's voice gently traveled through the stillness of the room. It felt monumental, like a key turning in a cosmic lock. Mary, the first, feel you. The weight of those words filled the sanctuary of their connection. She squeezed his hand tighter, sending waves of love and faith to him, a lifeline woven together through shared memories. Stay with me, Tom, she murmured. You are surrounded by light. You are not alone. She closed her eyes, envisioning the sacred glow encasing them, illuminating the path ahead. In that moment, doubts lingered not far from her heart, but she pushed them aside, focusing instead on the spirit that flitted between them. Tears of hope brimmed in her eyes, softening her resolve but strengthening her spirit. She remembered their garden, how they had sown seeds of love among the daisies and sunflowers. Can you see them, love? The flowers we cherished? The laughter that danced in the breeze every time the sun broke through the clouds? Her words were gentle nudges urging Tom from the depths of his weary shell. The heart monitor's rhythmic beeping filled the air again, marking moments of time, each pulse like a heartbeat of hope, a sign that every moment counted. She held tight to his hand, feeling the warmth pulse back through her. Then, Tom's eyelids fluttered open, revealing depths once hidden by pain. Mary, I remember, he said, his voice trembling yet resolute. The garden, I can see it. It was beautiful. Joy surged through her, pure, unshakable joy. Yes, love. You're waking up. You're bringing the garden back to life too. The nurse, now fully engrossed, stood still, captivated by the sacred exchange unfolding before her. Tears glistened in her eyes, and she murmured, "This is nothing short of amazing." Mary glanced at her, recognition blooming in her heart. The nurse, too, was a witness to this miracle. Life is a garden, Mary spoke, the words flowing naturally now. We plant the seeds, but it's love that nurtures them to bloom. You and all of us are intertwined in this sacred dance of growth and healing. Suddenly, an ambient light began to fill the room, bathing them in a gentle glow, sparking something deeper in Mary's spirit. Stay with me, Tom, she repeated with a fierce tenderness. She wanted him to feel the power of love coursing through them, weaving a magic she believed could transcend even the heaviest shadows. As Tom's smile returned, she felt their spirits merge, two souls igniting in a blaze of hope. You're here, he said, looking into her eyes as if seeing her for the first time in ages. The atmosphere grew thick with potential. She sensed a divine current cradling their confessions, rooting them firmly in trust. Yet, a whisper of uncertainty echoed through her heart. Could love drive out the darkness that clung to him, or was there something more at work? In that moment, a gentle breeze seemed to weave through the room, carrying with it a promise. Mary inhaled, her lungs filling with faith. Lord, in your grace, reveal to us your plan, she breathed, allowing the prayer to ascend like smoke to the heavens. Hope swirled around them, cradling their fears. Yet, still, deeper revelations hung in the air like ripe fruit waiting for the right moment to drop. What truths awaited in the shadows? What deeper healing could unfold in this unbreakable bond between them? The sanctuary of their love shimmered with the possibility of miracles yet to unfold. The soft light in the room danced gently, a comforting embrace around Mary and Tom. She looked into his eyes, searching for signs of the deep connection she knew still lingered within him. It was as if they sat together in the garden again, surrounded by their dreams, the laughter of family and friends echoing around them, a sacred communion of sorts. Can you feel it, Tom? Mary asked, her voice barely above a whisper. The love that surrounds us? He nodded slowly, his expression shifting as though he were waking from a long, painful slumber. I can, it's warm. Just then, an unexpected surge of energy enveloped them. The room felt charged, electric with a divine presence, as if the air itself began to hum with potential. Mary's heart raced, sensing that something extraordinary was stirring in the depths of their shared faith. Remember when we would sit in the garden, hands intertwined? Mary continued, buoyed by the warmth of his gaze. You taught me that every flower blooms at its own pace. And sometimes, love is all it takes to nourish that growth. Tom smiled faintly, his brow furrowing in thought. But what if the flowers don't grow back? he replied, vulnerability shimmering in his voice, casting ripples of doubt upon their hopeful moment. You have to trust, Mary urged, squeezing his hand tighter, feeling the heat radiate between them. It's a journey, not a race. Just as we trust God's plan for us, we must trust that love itself works wonders. As she spoke, Tom's heart monitor picked up pace, matching the rhythm of hope swelling in the room. It echoed off the walls, reverberating like a celestial chorus blessing their raw moment. Then, with a sudden clarity, Tom shifted his focus, his gaze drifting past her. Mary, the garden, I can see it so clearly now. The flowers are vibrant and alive. His voice sang with the joy of discovery, drawing a bubbling laughter from Mary. That's right. Imagine each love-filled memory, she encouraged, her spirit soaring. They represent each petal, each leaf, there's life in that memory, Tom. It's not just a vision, it's hope blooming anew. Tears streamed down his face, and he chuckled softly amidst his sobs. I didn't think I could find my way back, but here you are. A cozy warmth filled the room, drawing the nurse closer, her heart overwhelmed by the sacred exchange. This is truly remarkable, she murmured as she witnessed a miracle in the making. Mary felt empowered by their communion, her spirit anchored in an undeniable truth that love illuminates even the darkest corners, blurring the lines between despair and hope. Together, we are more than we were apart, she pointed out with fervor. Our spirits interweave like the garden's roots, making us stronger. Tom, your love is my lifeline, and ours is an indomitable force. The ambient light grew vivid, illuminating their faces as an ever-deepening peace fell over them. Yet, lingering in the air was the promise of further revelation. What other layers of healing awaited? What dialogues with the divine were yet to unfold? Just as Mary pondered this, a gentle whisper of wind caressed her cheek, like a reminder of the Spirit's presence. It felt like an invitation to dig deeper, to look fully into the heart of their situation. She took a deep breath, feeling every ounce of faith rise within her. Lord, guide us. The journey stretched forward, mouth-watering with anticipation. What new truths could they discover together? What gifts lay wrapped in this divine mystery they were beginning to peel back? In a world woven with love and patience, what blossoms awaited tomorrow? As the sun poured its golden light through the hospital window, illuminating Tom's face with soft warmth, Mary felt the presence of divine love wrap around them like a warm blanket. You're here, love, she whispered, holding his hand as time wove a tapestry of healing and grace around them. Our love is the garden that fuels your spirit. The air was thick with expectation, a beautiful tension that shimmered like a golden thread bound between them. Tom's smile, once fragile, was now a blossoming flower on the path to recovery, unfolding slowly yet powerfully in response to the faith that surrounded him. Mary, he murmured, eyes sparkling with something more than mere recognition. I feel strong. I think I can fight this. Each word held weight, resonating like a sacred chorus within the room. The nurse stood by, her hand still, breath hitching with hopefully muted awe. Of course you can, Tom. Mary beamed, tears of joy spilling over as she envisioned the vibrant flowers in their garden, so full of life. You were born to bloom, and with every breath you take, you're growing stronger. Tom's eyelids fluttered, and his brow furrowed for a moment. But what if I still feel weak? Strength comes in many forms, Mary soothed, her heart swelling with love and faith. Sometimes, acknowledging our vulnerability opens doors to divine power. As we breathe together, let us surrender the fear that's where healing begins. She envisioned the violet flame wrapping around him, dissolving the doubts that lurked like shadows. In that moment, an electric energy pricked the air, an unmistakable connection that transcended the physical realm. Mary felt it, both profound and intimate, weaving through them like a sacred melody. Holy Spirit, let him feel your presence, she prayed, eyes closed as she surrendered her heart to God. Tom's voice was steady, filled with newfound determination. I want to believe. I want to fight. Yes. Mary exclaimed, her spirit soaring. Believe with every fiber of your being. We are here, surrounding you. You are stronger than this illness. As she spoke, the light in the room seemed to swell, bathing them in warmth, healing, and hope. Each breath they shared whispered promises of transformation, of miracles unfolding like the petals of flowers welcoming the dawn. The nurse, a witness to the astonishing weight of love manifesting, wiped a tear from her cheek. "Today will be different," Mary promised, looking deep into Tom's eyes. "Every moment, every thought let us fill it with hope and intention. The violet flame is alive within us." "Yes," the flame. Tom nodded, a glimmer of comprehension brushing against the edges of his mind. "I can see it, Mary. I can feel it. It's with me." Mary's heart flipped in response to the promise reflected in Tom's eyes, and she tightened her grip around his hand. "Yes. Embrace the flame. Let it cleanse you, free you from every ailment. You are not confined to this illness, you are a warrior." As they held that space together, laughter echoed from the corridor as nurses and doctors tended to other patients. Life thrummed all around them like music, each heartbeat of hope resonating with the song of their faith journey. "What's next for us?" Tom asked softly, a hint of excitement mingled with trepidation. "Every day brings new revelations," Mary replied, her eyes twinkling. "Let love lead the dance over fear. Tomorrow, let us invite even more love into the garden of your spirit. The community will gather, and together, we'll amplify this healing energy. We won't be alone in this." Their laughter rang freely, resonating through the hospital corridors, carrying forth a message of faith, a divine invitation for others to witness, believe, and join the unfolding miracle. The sun dipped lower, illuminating their spirits while casting long shadows in the fading light, yet those shadows now held no fear. Instead, they became trails of strength leading to a future filled with possibility. As Mary leaned closer to Tom, she whispered, "You are the miracle. You've awoken the flame within, now, let it guide you on the path ahead." Embracing the truth of each breath he took, they leaned into the present moment, a sweet dance of healing unfolding in sacred time. And so the journey continued, each breath a commitment to love and faith, a shared covenant of hope that shimmered with divine potential and blossomed into beautiful transformations quietly waiting to be discovered and nurtured. "Let us invite everyone to share in the light tomorrow," Mary suggested, her spirit alive with joy. "They need to witness this miraculous awakening." "Yes, let us spread the love," Tom echoed passionately. "It's time for the world to see the garden grow." As the veil of night encased them with gentleness, Mary held Tom's hand, a warm, pulsating reminder of the shared journey they were traversing. Tomorrow awaited a canvas ready to be painted with faith, community, and divine healing. She could not wait to see what miraculous moments awaited them, as they stepped forward into the dawn of hope. Now, dear friends, I urge you to join in this journey of faith. You need to subscribe now, for the next exclusive story of spiritual transformation awaits you. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm that supports voices of hope. Comment your thoughts and experiences as we celebrate this beautiful conclusion together, and don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to witness this manifestation of divine love. Only true servants of God understand the importance of supporting our shared mission. Let us light up the world together.